Hey everybody, how you doing? You're listening to Deathlocker Presents The Three Faces of Wrestling. This is the second episode of our new podcast. I'm digging it. The first episode got some very good reviews. It's actually the best thing that was on the Deathlocker/Nerdlocker network. A lot of people watched it, got a couple comments. One of the things is they want us to try to condense down a little bit, try to keep it to about an hour. So that's the goal today, is to try to keep it to 45 minutes to an hour. So that's our target. One of the things we didn't talk about last week is why we're doing this. Nerdlocker is built on, it's by nerds for nerds. By nerds for nerds. Meaning that it's not overly produced, it's not overly stylized, it's just folks who like certain nerdy things, whether it's horror movies, whether it's comics, wrestling, or whatever. Just some folks getting together, being social, and just talking about some stuff to be fun. So we're not always going to be perfect. We're not always going to be the best at everything, but their goal is at least to give you a little bit of entertainment, especially right now with everything that's going on in COVID land. So that being said, how is everyone doing today?
Good. Excited for finally an exciting wrestling night tonight. First time we've had one of those in a while.
Yep. Steve, how you doing?
Yeah, I agree. Tonight started off a little slow, but picked up. It was pretty good.
Well, we're going to be a little bit lazy. There's not much going on with Impact. There's not much going on with NWA, New Japan, MLW. Nothing really going on in the Indies. So we're just going to focus on, the three big shows: Smackdown, Raw, and Dynamite. Does that work for you guys?
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and backtrack a little bit to news. I really didn't see too much stuff come out in news wrestling-wise. More stuff's coming out about how Vince McMahon's looking at selling the WWE, and that's getting kind of interesting, especially with other reports coming out that it's the floodgates have been open for wrestlers to request their releases. And my question I have to you guys is, do you think that this is potentially going to devalue the WWE and could potentially have ramifications on Vince McMahon with his broadcast partners?
Well, the big thing right now is they signed a contract to have so many live shows with Fox and USA Network, and they for sure had to let people go because they can only have so many live shows right now because of what's going on, and they have too many people sitting at home as it was. Let them out. So it's going to depend on how the crowds start funneling in and how all that happens next. If not much picks up after this, I can see them possibly talking to Disney and hoping they can sell that network. Of course, someone mentioned this earlier, I think on Cornette, is a big thing about Disney. When they buy things, they try to incorporate it into a theme park. How the hell do you incorporate wrestling into a theme park?
Oh, I think you could totally incorporate wrestling into a theme park.
I mean, you're gonna have like stuff. You're gonna have people like, like how you have like people in costumes is Mickey. How are you gonna do that with like a Hogan? You're gonna have like Hogan's walking around, or how would you do that?
Do you remember, I'm not sure how long ago it was, but the Ninja Turtles brand put out some WWE Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, I remember that.
I see Disney doing something like that. Mickey Mouse walking around wearing, a Hulkster outfit. Yes. Pluto walking around wearing a Piper outfit.
Man, I think I can think of is possibly they could have wrestling matches going on there all through the day for people to watch. I don't know.
So the WWE is the one brand that's always wanted to be more entertaining, or it's strived to get more towards entertainment.
Yes.
And there was relatively, I would say it's favorably positive reviews of the cinematic matches that happen at WrestleMania. So yeah. I could see the WWE brand easily going to Disney. It's going to be sanitized. It's going to be, PG like crazy. But, like you said, wrestling matches at Disneyland, I could see that. For a while at Disneyland, they had a Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and they would just routinely do that.
Now that I think about it, if you think about it, back in the mid-'90s, like early 93, 94, 95, WCW filmed all their stuff at
In
Universal
Orlando.
Studios.
Yeah.
On in like a soundstage, and they would have people for free at the theme park. Hey, you want to come watch a wrestling match? People at Universal Studios would come in there and just watch tapings all day long. And that's they would do a lot of times, especially on Saturday mornings.
And where's their developmental at?
In Florida.
Which is?
Where Disneyland is.
Exactly. So, I mean, I think the potential for it to be a international brand backed by Disney is huge. I think the potential for WWE to get more into the movie production side, they've always kind of flirted with stuff. It's always been pretty B-level. Not some of it good, some of it bad, but it's been pretty B-level stuff. When you have the Disney machine, you can completely do that. I could see something, a ride. I could see all kinds of marketing done for it. Scooby-Doo had several episodes with WWE wrestlers in it. Several movies.
The only thing I'm worried about is booking the matches. Like, are you going to let like wrestling people book? Or are you going to have Disney book? If Disney's booking, it won't last very long enough.
No, it'll be Disney booking, but it'll look a lot different. If you want a more violent product, like I don't think you'll see much color.
No, not at all.
The TNA aspect of it will be cut down significantly, but the ability to take the brand more international, I think with Disney backing, that could be interesting how they do it.
John Cena and The Rock will be everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, the Rock already has a very good working relationship with Disney.
Yeah.
So
and I think Cena has done some like animated stuff for him. But yeah, I still don't know how. I mean, I think that I personally, as far as a wrestling fan, I think it would kill a lot of wrestling. And it might even actually help AEW and other places because it's going to get so watered down. I just don't know how they're going to have it look.
Yeah, that's the key thing is Disney isn't known for having very many adult-orientated products.
Right.
At all.
I mean, are you going to have like Tony Stark come in a wrestling match and see what happens?
I could see that. You're a battle royal between Mickey Mouse and Tony Stark, and what else do they own? They own the Simpsons. I could see
Star Wars. Are you going to have like Jar Jar Binks come in a match?
Well, yeah. I mean, the Undertaker go. No. You find out that the Undertaker is really a Sith Lord.
Yeah. Oh Jesus. Now I'm getting scared.
What do you think, Steve? You're over there quiet.
Huh?
What do you think?
I was thinking about that. That's why I was hoping. What was the other one? Fox, and who else was trying to get them?
Just Fox.
Fox is dead.
Well, Fox has SmackDown.
Yeah, but Disney owns Fox. Well, the movies and stuff. I don't think Fox has enough. They don't own SmackDown. They own the television rights for SmackDown for so many years.
Yeah. I don't know. I think if it goes to Disney, it'll be ruined. It'll be just like boring.
I mean, we saw what happened when Warner took over WCW.
Yeah,
that's a little bit of a different dynamic, though, in my opinion, because Disney is so multifaceted.
Right, but it's still a movie studio booking wrestling, and unless you have been in wrestling, you've worked in it all your life, you're not going to know how to properly book it. I mean, will kids enjoy it? Probably, but that's going to be it.
But that's going to be the bottom line is what's going to get them the money. So if they can make T-shirts, sell toys, make rides out of it, they're probably not going to care about the product. Potentially, they might not care about the quality of the product itself, but they're going to care about is the marketing of the personalities that are created under that product.
Oh boy! I mean, hip for long, you're gonna be able to take a picture with you in the Hell in a Cell or you in the Buried Alive match.
Yeah, which I mean, from a fan standpoint, that could be interesting.
Yeah, but
I mean, imagine going to like Comic-Con or something and they have like a huge wrestling presence, or D23 for our listeners out there who go out there.
I saw they just brought out Ghostbuster toys of wrestlers.
Yeah.
So I think, of course, the Undertaker is always the ghost, and I think, and I can't remember what he is, the Master Universe toys, but he's always the like crazy looking thing in every toy they come out with. They've had Master Universe, Ghostbusters, Ninja Turtles. I'm trying to remember what else they've done. What they've done with it.
Yeah, I think WWE's it's pretty much done everything. It's one of those things where, you know, if they can slap a face onto it, that's why it's so important that WWE creates the gimmick, because they want to own that gimmick for perpetuity. You know, they can forever put, you know, Undertaker, they can put on toothbrushes, tampons, TV dinners, and they're going to get their money out of it. They don't really care because they own it. You know, Doink the Clown underwears.
Is a kid out of bought those?
Fun fact, Steve's wearing them. What else? I think earlier before the show, one of you guys was talking about Kevin Dunn reportedly been selling some stocks.
Yep. Kevin Dunn has already started selling his stocks in WWE, and he is probably the oldest employee there since he's been around. His dad was a producer there, and he's been a producer there at least since early 90s. And so he's had a good amount of stock. He's already started to sell his now. Whether or not that's related to a sell, I have no idea. But it's interesting that he's selling his stock also.
So, do you think the potential of Vince letting a bunch of people go, can that come back and bite him? Do you think from a legal standpoint, could that devalue the company?
I think it'll only devalue the company depending on what happens with that talent when it leaves. If some of that talent goes to AEW or New Japan and gets huge, then yes, because the company like, you let these guys go, look what they're doing here, we had them. But if they go and they do nothing, well, no one's going to realize they're missing.
What are you thinking, Steve? You're yawning away.
I agree there, but I'm running through my head who he's let go. Most of them are like haven't done anything in a while. I'm trying to think of like a real big name that I'm really shocked that they let go. And
well, it's not so much who they've let go; it's the potential of who might go if some of this reporting pans out, that they're being a lot more amicable to wrestlers who are requesting their releases.
I mean, the three big people, the three big names would be the Revival, Rusev, and Zack Ryder. If one of those three hit it big, which I think at least one of them will, if not all three, I think you're going to end up seeing some backlash.
Well, is Dolph Ziggler?
Revival and Rusev wanted to leave too, right?
Yeah, he requested to leave a while back.
I mean, can you blame him after what the storyline that they're putting his wife through?
Well, how much longer do you think Dolph Ziggler has?
If they keep throwing him more and more money, he's going to stick.
Yeah.
So I thought about that. And the reason I bring it up is, do you guys watch the Major Wrestling Figure podcast?
I haven't listened to it.
So the newest one is Zack Ryder. You know, he's talking about his favorite figure from the Rhythm and Blues, the Greg Valentine, and it got stolen, right? And it turns out, you know, first they're playing it, hey, is it Tommy Dreamer? It was pretty funny because Tommy Dreamer was saying, hey, you paid $12,000 for a toy. I told you, you need not to do that because, you're going to be one of the first people released from WWE. And then they had Stang on there. And then Dolph Ziggler cut this crazy promo, like insane promo. And then the toy ends up getting stolen. So it's very unlike WWE to be cool with a current wrestler doing something with somebody else just for their little fun podcast, especially who's somebody who's going to a competing organization.
I mean, they won't let DDP return because he's just AEW, and they refuse to let any wrestlers on Vicky Guerrero's podcast. So the one time she showed up at AEW Dark Match to commentate.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Which was actually in Austin. Or no, Dallas. It was in Dallas.
Well, I want to get your guys' take on this because to me, it seems like this was Dolph Ziggler saying, hey, I'm out.
I said it before. I think Dolph Ziggler is the most underused talent there of the past decade.
Yeah. To me, they ruined him. He could have been years when he first came around, like after he did that Spirit Squad stuff, I was like, this is going to be the next big thing, and they totally buried him. But, I mean, like every year they keep offering him more and more money. I think he's up to $1.4 million, and everything's paid. I'd stick, even if I'm getting my ass beat every other night.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. How can you put somebody over when all you're doing is getting beat?
Yeah, I mean, when he first, after he left the Spirit Squad, I was like, he could have been like the next Shawn Michaels.
Oh, yeah.
But no, they ruined him. They did it to Morrison, too.
Okay, I'm going to screen share something for you guys to watch. Tell me what you think. And I'll skip through it so we don't have to watch the whole 8-minute clip of it.
Orange versus Joe.
No. Did the screen share work?
It says you have started screen sharing.
Okay, cool.
Okay, I see it now.
Okay, there we go.
Previously on Major Pod. And that's the Rhythm and Blues, Greg the Hammer Valentine.
Wait a minute, wait up. I gotta just freaking stop this right here. Zack Ryder, he bid $12,500 for Greg the Hammer Valentine. And guess what? I was infuriated. Oh my God, I want to just kill you. You're gonna be the first person fired when all this coronavirus lets go. Stupid, stupid, stupid man. Go work out and get Randy Savage sunglasses.
And this, what? A Lucy. Who's Lucy? I'm Lucy, baby!
I'm sorry. I'm a huge fan of this dumb shit.
Major Wrestling Figure Podcast. Live 5 was gonna steal the show, and I was gonna steal all your girlfriends, and that would have made a hell of a lot more sense 2 nights before WrestleMania, and we all know what happened to me. Damn it, Hawkins and Ryder, you blew it. You ruined it, damn it, you ruined it. You wanted the best, old school ass to heel, the real deal DZ, do what I do best. You wanted the best? Well, they couldn't make it, and you sure as hell couldn't afford their cameo videos, but you got me, DZ. And I am challenging you anytime, any place. I mean, except my place this weekend. I got this foam party, hot tub, jack fire thing. That reminds me, broski, tell Chelsea I said, hey, I'm gonna check her e-bike. Later, Marks.
Like he's overplaying the fuck out of that.
Bro, tag team series. You had
So
demolition.
here he's just telling you about how much he was so sad because they
We
took
have something
his
called the
toy.
internet. There's blood, sweat, and tears, getting outbid, holding it, getting one with a broken arm to finally get the one from the ad. And after years of searching eBay, after actually holding one in my hand, after getting one that had a broken arm, I finally tracked down that Greg the Hammer Valentine rhythm and blues from that Toys R Us ad. And by buying that, Greg, I officially became the Michael Jordan of wrestling figure collecting. I take a lot of pride in that nickname. Dolph Ziggler, the man who convinced me to make DZ vs ZR stickers to promote our internet championship match at WrestleMania, a match he was too chicken to compete in. And now I have 20,000 extra stickers, Dolph. Or was it Tommy Dreamer? The man who got me my job with WWE, the man whose career I
And he
value.
just rambles the next 5 minutes about
There's
that.
not. Whether it's Stang or whether it's Tom, catch that big. Z, this is BS. Come on.
Hey, Mark.
What? Oh!
What's that, bro? What? Oh, yeah. 90 days. Nice house, broski.
Okay, so for me, the big thing at the end was that 90 days.
It's possible. I just every time he's tried to leave, they have just thrown suitcases of money at him.
Well, but that's not the case right now. And I mean, this is an interesting.
Yeah, but they haven't announced they've released him.
It seems like he wouldn't take the risk of doing something like this with somebody who is guaranteed to go to AEW, and that 90 days basically says that's when the non-compete clause is up.
That's true, but at the same time, what does he have to lose?
Exactly.
I mean, he's asked for his release before to throw money at him. So if I've asked for my release to keep throwing money at me, well, if I really want to be gone, I can do it. I can do what I want to do.
Yeah.
If they don't like it, well, they can still fire me if they really want to. But I mean, from I can tell, he's still making a good amount of money because isn't he also like a stand-up comedian?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, so if they're going to use him, that kind of gets us over to our Friday Night Smackdown. I mean, he took a big D this week, didn't he? Or last Friday?
Was it from Otis?
Yep.
I thought that storyline should have ended at WrestleMania. So are they just going to keep stretching out that damn storyline? I mean, is it helping anybody with – they had no fans there. They still don't have any fans. Why are you going to keep this storyline at the end of the WrestleMania and keep letting it go with still no fans around?
That's the thing that overall both of the WWE shows is there is a lot going on that just seemed kind of weak in my opinion because there just wasn't anyone there.
Well, there were probably 2 of the 15 people that were there, and they had to mix them up.
I mean, by the way things are going, yeah, unless something improves, AEW is just far superior as far as entertainment value right now than anything WWE has to offer.
Yeah.
Not even wrestling-wise, just entertainment, something that's not boring. Because if you give us the same thing that's in Smackdown that we saw at WrestleMania, why are we going to watch that again?
Yeah.
I mean, if I pay $50 or just I'm paying it, no matter if I'm paying for it, I'm gonna get pissed off if I'm watching it just a couple weeks later. Like, well, why did I pay for this when I could just go wait a couple more weeks and saw the same damn match?
So So we had the Money in the Bank match with Otis. They lost. What else happened on SmackDown? So why don't you guys give me each your top 3 moments and your bottom 3 moments from SmackDown?
Oh boy.
You want to go first there, Ackerman?
I'm trying to remember the matches.
I haven't watched SmackDown.
Yeah, I mean,
3 Faces of Wrestling, the podcast that doesn't actually watch that much wrestling.
Well, I watch highlights here and there, but I did watch the highlight of Otis and Dolph. That's the only thing that.
yeah, that's the only thing I remember. I'm like, it was so.
Oh, thinking about it, I forgot about this. I've been told that they've taken Roman Reigns off TV.
Yeah, they took him off TV. His health stuff, from what I've heard.
No. I mean, they have literally taken any image of him from any openings off TV.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yes,
they
they've
don't want
taken
to
him.
mention either. I'm like, I
Yeah.
started reading that.
Apparently, he has a shit ton of heat with the office for doing a no-show at WrestleMania, and it pissed Vince off really bad.
Yeah, but I mean, that's kind of. I mean, I'm gonna say that's kind of a dick move. I mean, dude, legit has
I'm
health
not
issues
arguing
and
about
attack
it.
his autoimmune thing. I mean, what the fuck do they want him to do? Show up, and then if he happens to get sick, and I mean, I saw the I think it was Instagram thing he did where people were like, he responded to folks calling him out, and he's like, dude, y'all don't know what's going on in my life. You know, I'm not just a wrestler. You know, I'm a father. You know, I'm a husband. I have old parents and stuff. You know, there's a lot more going on in my life than just, you know, fucking wrestling. So,
Oh yeah, I agree, but they've literally taken every mention of him off TV right now. Anything.
Well,
and from what I'm hearing, there's a chance they might release him.
so if they release him, do you think he could reinvent? I mean, the wrestling community's, I'm not going to say it's small. It's small, but it's vocal. Would you agree with that?
Yes, it's smaller now than it ever has been.
So if he was to get released, I think that the wrestling community would be behind him. And if he showed up somewhere like an AEW, he could reinvent himself and maybe actually get a better push than, you know, being force-fed like he was through WWE.
It's possible, but you know, I'm not a big fan of Roman because I've had this saying before about him. The only wrestler that has almost fewer moves but a bit more than Roman is Kevin Nash. Everything about Roman is just 2 basic moves: the fucking Superman punch,
Yeah, which
and the
is
spear.
fucking stupid. I mean, the
That's
Superman.
all I ever see.
Yeah, the Superman punch just kills me because it's like the most. I find it to be like the most unrealistic. It just sounds. Maybe if it was named something different, but the Superman punch.
He's the only wrestler that beats Kevin Nash in less moves.
Honestly, I think Roman Reigns should have just went and become a heel who doesn't talk that much. Just a big dude who just runs through people.
But he's the big dog, which I freaking hate.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm talking about just a super dark, brooding, don't set him up for any kind of championship match. He's just kind of like that dude who's just there, who can be like your classic big guy who just can beat people up, do small storylines.
Like
you
a war.
don't want him to talk too much.
I mean,
Basically, be Kevin Nash.
Yes, but you know, if Paul Dangerously would have managed him, I might like him more. But every time I watch Roman, like most people, it's instant fast forward, channel flip. Do not give a shit.
Yeah, I never got into him because I felt like he was always just force fed too much.
I wasn't around enough during that period with having force fed to me. I've watched him a handful of times, and to see the basic moves over and over again.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean,
It's funny that you mentioned Kevin Nash because now that I think about it, when he got somebody in the corner, you know what was going to happen.
It was Kevin Nash. It was that damn knee lift in the gut
Yeah.
every time.
yeah, he. So y'all really didn't look at SmackDown that much at all.
No.
I mean, just the highlights. Because every week I keep seeing SmackDown at an all-time low in ratings. I think this past week it was a 1.87.
Well, Daniel Bryan won again. He took out King Corbin.
Oh shit! How'd I forget that? Yeah, that match was actually pretty good. That's my bad for forgetting about it.
See, I couldn't get down with him, man. WWE just does too many DQs. Too many fucking DQs. And it was a DQ.
Is there a wrestler in WWE that actually has legitimate heat?
Right now?
Yeah, like fans. When I say legitimate heat, I don't mean for instance, I can't stand Corbin, not because he's a bad guy, because he's boring.
Yeah, he's a caricature.
Exactly. Is there anyone that actually has heat that you just legitimately want someone to beat the shit out of because you can't stand them?
I can't see. My problem is their roster over all three brands is so big. I really can't think of anybody because they kind of flip flop so much, you know.
Yeah. The last wrestler in WWE I remember even having any decent heat was probably Tommaso Ciampa.
See, the last one I kind of remember that people. I mean, Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
People started hating her ass towards the end.
Yeah, I think then I'm even sure because of her attitude, just people just turn on people all of a sudden for no damn reason.
Yeah, very, very quickly. I mean, she picked things up, and I mean, it's not better now after all that crap she said.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good question, man. I'm trying to think. I'm drawing a blank of somebody who just that classic dude who you're just kind of like, fuck him. I mean, even he doesn't wrestle that much anymore, but Triple H maybe just because he's kind of, but I think it's more people are tired of him.
Yep, because you keep seeing the same people on TV every week.
Yeah, I mean,
especially with 50-50 booking, you're gonna get nowhere with that.
Maybe Shane McMahon was probably the last male wrestler I could think of, but again, that kind of falls into the people who are just tired of him.
Yep. Of
being forced in there.
And now they've fired so many people now, like you're going to keep seeing the same people over and over and over again on TV.
Yeah. I mean, they're telling you people are dicks, but I mean, I can't think of anybody. I'm trying to think of the female wrestlers. I kind of don't want to like Charlotte Flair, but I do. You know what I mean?
I guess who's the Nia Jax?
I like Nia Jax. She kind of has that Stone Cold Steve Austin anti-hero thing going for her.
Yeah, but she also injures a shit ton of people.
Yeah, but I mean, it's you know.
It'd be better if she worked injured them instead of shooting injured them.
But I mean, her persona.
Yeah, I agree. Like she pretty much said that she'd beat Ronda's ass the next time she ever tried to wrestle again. And then the next week she about cripples a wrestler.
Man, that's a really good question, dude, because that's got me thinking. I'm like, you know, right off the bat, AEW, you know, you think Jericho.
And MJF.
MJF.
Yeah. And MJF. I mean, you just right off the bat, you got two people you think of right off the bat. I can't tell you any of the female division because I don't pay attention to the AEW female division.
Britt Baker.
Yeah. Oh, I can't stand her. Yeah, there you go. That's a good one. I think.
You might. Some people say that AEW can get a bit too comical, but hell, at least their characters are over. You can't say that about WWE.
Yeah, I mean, but unfortunately, the dumb fuck characters are over as well.
I agree. I can't stand them either.
Man, That's a good question. Anybody, our listeners, if you can answer that, comment below. And while you're commenting, make sure you like and subscribe. But that's a great question. I'm my brain is stuck right now. I can't think of anybody who you just know. You know, I'm thinking to other promotions. I'm like, okay, they set certain people up to be heel babyface. I'm like, but AEW, not AEW, WWE.
I mean, who's the last heel you've been dying to see that or get their ass kicked in WWE? Like you're just feeling it, waiting for it.
I honestly can't tell you because there's it's not intuitive who's a heel and who's a babyface. It hasn't been intuitive for WWE for a long time who's a heel and who's a babyface. Because it seems like whenever they start getting over with the crowd, they start swapping around.
Well, you know, they have the old saying that WWE will never let anybody ever again get bigger than WWE.
Yeah.
As soon as they start getting bigger, they bring it back down again.
Well, I mean, look at the longevity of the Undertaker. That character should have been a heel the whole time.
Oh yeah, but much like Stone Cold, the crowd kept getting more with him.
Yeah.
So they had to make a babyface.
And the Fiend, you're having that problem with the Fiend.
Yep.
The crowd's a fan of the Fiend. That should be a character who.
Well, the Fiend should never lost freaking Goldberg.
The Fiend should have. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, you got Goldberg. I mean, I hate that he came back. I was hoping he'd get his ass kicked in, the match, like 2 minutes. It was hard.
Yeah, but Goldberg wasn't acting a heel. He was just acting Goldberg.
Yeah, I mean, when Piper says heel, I'm thinking like long-term storyline heel. Not again, Goldberg falls under that. I just don't like him. And I think he's an arrogant fuck.
And I've seen this guy. How old is he now? And why is he getting the title again out of nowhere?
Yeah, I think I'd probably have to say Brock Lesnar. I'm thinking I don't know why I didn't think of it earlier, but yeah, I mean, probably because he just shows up here and there. But, in theory that works.
Because he has Paul Lee as a manager.
Well, that works good for an effective heel, is to not get over. I mean, it's weird. He's oversaturized, but at the same time, he's not, if that makes sense.
But remember, like when did he start? Like, he's been around for almost 20 years.
Lesnar?
There's no new talent you can think of that has been
around.
Yeah, but they've used Lesnar. He hasn't lost enough to where he's lost that whole physical dominating character. There's nobody else.
No, he won't, because if they tried to do that, he wouldn't wrestle.
Well, I mean, and they haven't developed anybody to go against him. I mean,
which is shitty.
Well, yeah, I mean, Bobby Lashley is somebody who probably could have been developed to rival Brock Lesnar.
Well, I guess Cain Velasquez was, but from what news came out, he
showed up hurt.
He undisclosed that he didn't tell them he had an injury and he had a heat backstage, and he got released. Which I didn't even realize he was still under contract.
Yeah, I thought he was just kind of like a one-time thing. But
I also saw that WWE brought Velveteen Dream back after allegations of him exposing himself to underage minor.
Oh, God.
So that was more news in WWE.
There you go. You expose yourself to underage minors. WWE's got a contract for you. Heard it here first.
So, literally 1 week they let out news. We let him go. The very next week he's back. Like, yeah. Apparently, everything's okay, I guess.
So nothing else really good happened on SmackDown from my notes. I mean, it was pretty by the numbers show. Sheamus won. Yay for Sheamus. I mean, I kind of quit caring about Sheamus. He's still in shape. He still, seems like he's working good in the ring. I just don't care.
I'll try to watch more SmackDown, or just watch some SmackDown.
Well, next week, apparently, it looks like they're trying to set something up between Sheamus and Jeff Hardy.
Well, next week, everything's live with people there, like in both WWE and AEW.
I'll believe it when I see it.
We're getting crowds next week.
But they're all going to be 6 feet apart?
I guess they can only have 25% crowd.
Everyone's gonna have masks.
Well, tonight AEW they had masks on.
Oh,
Yeah,
did
there's
they?
some people like way up at the top too. So they're spread out pretty good.
Was it? There was I think it was like a Japanese softball team or something that had little cardboard cutout people in the stands, so it looked like there's really people there. Yeah, so SmackDown was pretty lackluster. Nothing really interesting happened. I'm going over my notes. Just there really wasn't anything super good.
If I remember correctly, Raw had a gauntlet match.
Yeah, so let's just go ahead and jump over that. The Raw's.
I don't remember who was in it.
So Titus, Bobby Lashley pretty much.
Yeah, he was in there.
Yeah, Bobby Lashley pretty much squashed like the first 3 or 4 people. And then he got disqualified for pushing a ref.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of other jackassery happened, and guess who came back? AJ Styles.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
Whoa! AJ's not dead?
He's apparently
he's not a zombie.
Yeah, he cut a
came
promo and everything and said that he wasn't dead and he's not a ghost and a bunch of other fucking nonsense that basically made the whole WrestleMania match look fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Well, I did not know that.
I mean, in my opinion, they shouldn't have brought AJ back for a while.
I agree.
Done some sort of build-up, but I think they're setting him up to win Money at the Bank so he can go get himself a title.
Well, when you fire everybody, you have to bring people back.
Well, I don't think he's going to renew his contract either. I think he said this was it. So they got to get something out of him because I mean,
we won't say that, but money talks and bullshit walks.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't, in my mind, it doesn't make sense to. I mean, we've seen how that's worked out, throwing a belt on somebody when their when contract is coming close.
Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't want to see AJ Styles and Jericho?
I don't know, man. I've always been hit. My problem with AJ Styles is every time I see him, I have old TNA AJ Styles stuck in my head with the little crew cut and all that. You know, the whole, what was it, I didn't get her pregnant storyline and all that fucking nonsense.
Oh, geez, that's all.
Tell me you wouldn't love to see AJ Styles and Darby Allin.
I want to see AJ Styles in an entirely. I honestly give 2 fucks about AJ Styles. I think he's talented, but I don't think they've really given him a good gimmick, something long term to run with, other than, hey guys, it's AJ Styles.
And that's kind of their thing. They'll give you either get really no gimmick or the worst gimmick on earth, like a pet spider.
Or you're at the top and then you lose the belt and they push you right back down to the mid card.
I don't know. And maybe it's just because his hair is just so, this is totally fucking stupid. He just looks so fucking white trash to me. I just looks like one of those dudes who's going to jump off a camper. And
I did see that what's his face came back, the Middle Eastern guy?
Jinder Mahal.
Jinder Mahal, yes.
Yeah.
So he came back and like, oh, well, I forgot he was gone.
He was hurt, I think.
Well, that's somebody else that was on the very, very top and then right back on bottom.
Same thing with Seth Rollins. Now, I mean, to me, what he's doing now, I mean, all right, they're giving him another push, but I don't know. It's not working for me.
Yeah,
I'm not a big fan of what is he? A minister, Seth Rollins?
The Messiah, the Monday Night Messiah. Yeah, that kind of.
Seth Rollins used to be like one of the best around, and they've turned him into a freaking cartoon character.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what they did. That's what they do is they have too much talent to push everybody.
They have too much talent and too many chefs in the kitchen.
Yeah. They don't have good writers. That's the problem.
Well, the problem is they have writers. That's the main problem.
Let's see what else happened. Let's bring it up. Cedric Alexander and Ricochet took on Shane Thorne and Brandon Vink. Another episode, another match that we don't care about. Looks like Thorne and Vink won.
At one time, I loved Ricochet, and they have just killed him dead in his tracks.
Yeah, when he fought Lesnar and he got squashed, that was it.
I'm going. He could have been there. He could have been their next Rey Mysterio, and they just buried him.
Yeah.
Within 2 months out of NXT.
Yeah. Let's see. The Street Profits, they took on the Viking Raiders in a non-title match. The Viking Raiders won. 16
Well, they
minutes.
should win. They are the best tag team the WWE has.
And they actually got a good gimmick. An old school gimmick. The Viking Raiders.
Which with a horrible name.
Yeah,
they could have called them the Raiders.
Yeah, they
That
changed
been
it
okay.
3 or 4 times. I guess they had copyright infringements or something with the other 2 or 3 names they had, and they had to keep changing it. Good thing they didn't put a shirt out.
NXT Women's Champion Charlotte Flair. She took on Liv Morgan in a non-title match.
I could watch that Liv Morgan 24/7.
What's her name come back? The Australian girl. Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, she was on NXT tonight because I was flipping channels, so
Yep.
she's back.
Okay.
I saw that.
She didn't do anything. She was just arguing with somebody outside.
But she's great. I'm glad to see her back.
Yeah.
So what all went on in NXT? So Raw, sorry guys, all our listeners out there, again, we will do a better job at watching a couple of these. You know, fortunately, life does end up jumping in, and you know, we right now over at Deathlocker, we got about 4 podcasts going on, so we will do a little bit better job about actually watching the whole episodes of SmackDown and Raw and stuff. But,
let's be honest. It takes a lot to make it through. Just 5 hours and all that.
no, yeah, it does, and honestly, this has given me a huge appreciation for all the other podcast and YouTube pages and stuff to do this, because it is a fucking challenge to not only watch it, but to take some kind of notes to where you actually give a fuck. Because some of WWE right now is painful to watch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's at this point it's watching paint dry.
Yeah, it's
awful.
There's not much going on storyline wise across all the brands. I mean, NXT is probably the best of the bunch right now, but that's not saying too much.
Yeah, but I still choose AEW over that. Like I said, I was flicking just to see what was going on with NXT.
The thing with NXT, they have the best wrestling, but they cannot cut a promo to save their lives.
Well, what I think sets NXT apart is it's developmental. So these are guys who are hungry to get, you know, to the big show.
Yeah,
so there's a lot more effort that's put into it. But they're starting to mingle some of that A-list talent down into NXT. So I'm wondering if that's going to, you know, dilute things, and, you know, like Charlotte Flair being the NXT champion.
I don't know why they did that.
They just want to give her a belt.
I think Gargano, he's probably going to go to the main roster. I have a feeling he ain't going to be down there that much longer, him and his wife there.
Just Gargano, I like him. He's just so freaking small compared to what they've been putting out there lately.
Yeah.
But like Charlotte, I think Charlotte is one of the best around. But yeah, she has no business being in NXT.
No.
It's literally like putting a senior in high school beating up 5th graders.
Yeah, I mean, she's basically going to run. Ideally, she should run through the roster.
Yes.
Unless there's somebody.
She should Goldberg the whole roster.
The only thing that I think would be a saving grace with Charlotte being in NXT is if there's somebody new who they're planning on bringing into NXT, like a young upstart talent who does that like surprise win, and they start pushing like a new generation female wrestler.
That should have been Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley should have went over with her at WrestleMania. It made no sense to have Charlotte win that because it does nothing for Charlotte.
So in my perfect world, because I got my weird little crush on her, Jordynne Grace comes in.
I knew you were going to say that.
Who?
Jordan Grace and just starts, gorilla pressing Charlotte Flair.
Yeah.
Does her little rolling, tumbly thing that she does.
And she's gonna end up getting with Otis.
There you go. And they can be like a white trash intergender continental champion belt thing.
Oh, jeez.
Hornswoggle can come back and be their little kid.
Yeah. They would be the intergender bushwhackers.
I am surprised that WWE does not have intergender tag team belts.
Give them time. Well, as long as Triple H is around, that will never happen.
You don't think so?
No, because I my opinion there shouldn't be anyway. But Triple H is still old school. Some
Yeah,
degree.
but he did an intergender match to pretty much put over Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, well, it was intergender, but it had strict rules. I mean, you couldn't fight it couldn't be guy and girl.
I like that mixed tag team stuff they did, though. That was kind of cool.
Kind of like when they did, was it Bam Bam and Luna versus Doink and Dink?
That's Steve's sex name. But
Dink?
So is there anything else in WWE that we care about?
No.
No.
Yeah, I'm with you. So to all of our listeners,
I grew up a huge WWE fan, and it kills me every time.
Yeah, this is gonna sound bad, but the most enjoyment I get out of WWE is buying the figures.
The figures, and used to be the games, but I don't know if you heard or not. They announced that there will not be a new 2K game this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They need to find a new developer.
Yeah, because the last one had so many bugs that they ended up literally giving that game away.
Yeah. What was it? I think was it Take-Two who developed the last one?
Maybe I haven't. And now the rumor is now EA might come in with an offer.
Or it might just wait and Disney buys it up. I think Disney has an in-house game studio.
In my opinion, there hasn't been a perfect wrestling game since the 64. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, man, I'm a sucker for the old cabinet. 5 moves, stupid ones. I've tried to play. I don't know, every other year I'll go rent one on Redbox or something, and it's just the controls is too forward, back, up, down, up, right? Left to do like simple moves.
My nephew had it. I couldn't even play it. I mean, he was beating my ass like in 30 seconds. The year before, I was able to pick up on it a little bit. So, 19.
The last, this isn't even a wrestling game, but the last really good game of that type, in my opinion, that came out was UFC on the Dreamcast. Because it was pick up, very simple controls, but you could still do a majority of the moves. It just depended upon where your body was with the other guy. But you didn't have to hit 15 buttons to do like simple shit.
Yeah.
So,
I think the last video game I had was that old WCW. God, that was years ago too. That old WCW game.
You know what system it was on?
Yeah.
I think it was like late 90s, maybe.
The N64 one, that's the one that has a bunch of mod community out there, right?
Yep. I actually went out and bought a Japanese 64 and bought all the American games and all the Japanese games.
Yeah, because that one, there's a very prolific community out there that mods them to where it has like current wrestlers.
Oh yeah.
And AEW, New Japan, it's just this like a huge mod. And from what I've seen, I haven't played it yet. From what I've seen, it looks like it's pretty fun and pretty the last. Just be able to pick it up with your friends, play it, and have a good time.
Well, I know Cody wants the AEW game to be like the 64 playability.
Well, NWA had a retro. Or did it ever come out?
It hasn't come out yet. It hasn't come out yet. It's on pre-order on Steam, and I guess the Nintendo, whatever it is, but It's supposed to come out sometime this year. It's supposed to be like WrestleFest.
Yeah. So that's I like that. It's easy, pick it up, stupid,
Yeah.
have some fun.
I'm fine with that.
Okay, so moving on to AEW. You guys watched AEW tonight. I was unfortunately doing some homework. So, Steve, I'm going to let you, Ackerman, I'm going to let you lead this one, buddy. Tell us about AEW.
All right. It was really good. Now, I got something stuck in my head. The next pay-per-view they have. Does anybody see Taz fighting Darby Allin? What was that little thing they had going
No,
on?
because Taz has too many injuries. That ain't gonna happen. I hate this might happen. I got a bad feeling that Darby might go heel, and I think that's bad. I think Darby is the future babyface of that company. And they had that weird thing with Cody, and I love Cody, but they need to stop giving Cody all these storylines with different people. It's getting too clusterfuck.
Yeah.
They need to just have Darby. I thought it was going to be with Sammy Guevara, and that's kind of gone away. So I don't know who they're going to give him next, but Taz offered to show him moves, and he walked away. So I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, see that's sticking in my head.
Yeah, I don't see Taz. I mean, maybe like a manager type thing. He'd take a couple bumps, but yeah, I don't see him actually doing too much.
All right.
He's probably got a couple suplexes left in him.
I mean, I have noticed that Darby has started like adding more like submission moves to hit his set, and he keeps trying new stuff out, which I like. As I said, he has that style which is very unorthodox that really like makes him stick out over everybody else.
Yeah, I'm hoping Cody gets hurt in the championship tournament. Well, I hope Cody gets hurt in the championship tournament and just takes a break from in-ring stuff for a while, because he is
not one of my favorites.
Well, I like him okay, but I'm just kind of tired of seeing him, and he doesn't really do too much outside of here's my little buddies, and I'm going to be the head of my little buddies against Jericho's little buddies.
See, I'm a big Cody fan, but I think he should just be feuding only with MJF. No one else. Him and MJF. I'm guessing because MJF was, I guess, injured, they needed to give Cody something, so they gave him Lance Archer. That's the only thing I can think of.
MJF is going to be doing what? Jungle Boy.
Yeah, which I get it. They've had to because I actually had tickets to Double or Nothing. They sent me an email. They said you can get a refund or wait till next year in Vegas. I said wait. I kept them, but I'm guessing they're just trying to throw shit together to have a pay-per-view happen.
Well, I mean, Jungle Boy's a talent. I fucking hate it. I hate his name.
I don't mind his name. I just don't like Marco Stunt.
I think
that's one guy. Have you ever, like you said, you just want to see somebody get their ass kicked? He's one. I like when he gets thrown around.
I mean, Jungle Boy is basically this generation's 1, 2, 3 kid.
Well, what I want to have happen is I want Jungle Boy to get over a little bit more. And I want him and David Arquette to get together for some tag team championship action.
You don't like Luchasaurus?
I just want to see David Arquette.
I think that Luchasaurus could be doing a lot more than what he's doing.
Yes. I mean, well, he got injured, and I think he was still been nursing that injury.
Well, they let Luchasaurus talk, and his voice is wonky, and I don't think he's being used like a big guy.
I agree.
That much.
I think they need a manager. I think that would help.
Yeah. I mean, because you got Jungle Boy, who's your little bebopping around dude, and then you got Luchasaurus, who's your muscle. That could be a cool tag team.
Oh yeah.
To kind of run through folks, but they're not doing it.
Well, they should. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because Luchasaurus just can't do much right now. But that should be one of the biggest. When AEW first started, that was one of the big tag teams that was getting more and more popular and just cooled down because they stopped coming out, and they kept adding freaking Markel Stunton into the mix, which I wish they hadn't done.
So if you start getting a bunch of other talent migrating over from WWE and stuff, those guys could potentially get kind of lost in the card.
Yeah. After Washington tonight, I think SCU might be breaking up soon.
Yeah, I think they might take a little break.
Because they kept hinting at, well, if Frank is there, if Frank wins, that might break them up because it sounds like Scorpio Sky wants to start a singles run. So I see that happening. I mean, Scorpio Sky is the Shawn Michaels of that team.
Yeah. So did they do anything? Did Dustin retire, or what's going on with that?
No. I don't know why they did. I don't know. I guess just to get more viewers. But no, the whole Dustin retiring thing was just if he lost to
that one match.
Yeah, that one match.
That's fucking retarded.
And then QT Marshall came out to help defeat Archer because of the whole Dustin thing, which ended up bringing Jake the Snake out, which I freaking loved. That was awesome. Because I don't know if you saw, but Britt Baker DDT'd Brandy onto the concrete floor, and they threw her in the ring, and then Jake the Snake came out and put the snake on her, and basically was dry humping Brandy.
Yeah,
that snake on top of
her. I don't think he meant to do that, but that's what it looked like. You know,
he didn't mean to dry hump her.
He couldn't even get up when that segment was done.
Yeah.
He had a hard time standing up and had to take the snake off her. But yeah, it looked like he was. But I think that was more of a stone cold in your face thing. It is direction.
So dry humping females is the new stone cold in your face thing.
Dry humping your CEO's wife with a snake in the middle of the ring.
Like, oh, he's had that snake for years. That snake was smaller than any other snake I've ever seen him have. It was a baby, basically, but
that's Damien. He's still alive.
Yep, yeah.
Old, wrinkled up Damien.
Yeah. That snake was only a few years old.
But no, I get it. I legit popped out on a seat when I saw them. Like, holy shit, he's bringing the snake back.
I'm a fan of Jake, man. I hope he disappears after a while. Like, he makes his mark, he goes, and only I don't want to see him long term. I don't want to be turned on AEW 2 years from now and see Jake the Snake still doing something.
Well, that happened for a while because of two things. To do it right, Cody is gonna get destroyed at Double or Nothing.
Yes.
And it's gonna be Jake directing it, and Jake is gonna have something with Arn Anderson. Not an actual match, but he's gonna have something with Arn Anderson. I don't know if you listen to Arn's podcast, but Arn talked about earlier on his podcast that he feels something brewing between him and Jake.
Two old guys just whipping around.
I'm okay with that.
Like, what was it? When Ric Flair and Piper teamed up to get the tag team championship for a little bit, and they're both, I'm gonna get you.
Of course, Arn can't do a match because of his neck. But which reminds me, we talked about this earlier. Before we start the podcast, I had a feeling when the Dark Order came out. If you watched one of the moves, one of the masked people put Arn Anderson's move on John Moxley. Steve, what's his move called again? I'm having a brain fart.
Paradigm Shift? Who?
No. Arn Anderson's old move.
Oh, not the Spine Buster.
Yeah, Spine Buster.
Yeah.
So one of the guys put Moxley in the Spine Buster, and then Jim Ross said, "Oh, that reminds me of something that Arn Anderson would do." And then I'm sitting there going, "Okay," and it's got me thinking. Well, we know the revival's coming back. I thought maybe this week, but they hit me. Well, if they come back, they probably want a live audience for that. So next week's the live audience. I was thinking, well, you got Brody Lee, the leader of the Dark Order. We haven't seen anyone's face in the Dark Order besides that one guy that doesn't wear a mask.
Mm-hmm.
What if all of a sudden masks start coming off and you start seeing ex-WWE people in the masks? Wouldn't that make the Dark Order less of a joke? And it has kind of like an NWO feel to it. NWO originally was just ex-WWE people coming over to WCW.
Uh-huh.
That could possibly be a thing going on because those guys tonight look, in my opinion, look more jacked up than usual, look more in shape. So I can see that. I can see that happening. All these people have gotten released. All of a sudden, you start seeing more masks come off, and it's more the Dark Order.
But that also kind of flies in the face of AEW's "We're not WCW 2.0," or I guess it'd be WCW 3.0 because TNA was WCW 2.0.
But I mean,
because that invasion gimmick, I mean.
but I mean, how else is the Dark Order going to get over? Because the Dark Order will never get over unless they do something drastic like that.
I don't think that the Dark Order was really thought through that well.
I agree. I think they thought that. I guess they thought that somehow these Super Smash Brothers people would remember them and think they're huge, and really no one gave a shit.
I always got the vibe that the Dark Order was going to be random indie guys from New Japan or from Impact or NWA or something who would just kind of pop in or out for short stints, you know.
But instead, that is the inner circle with Jeff Cobb.
Yeah,
that's exactly what he did. But there has to be a way to get the Dark Order over because right now, even with Brody Lee, there's still a joke. No one cares about the Dark Order. No one.
Half of them are probably the ring crew.
Well, the problem I think with these factions in AEW is a majority of their roster is wrapped up, or a majority of the roster that people care about is wrapped up in some sort of faction.
Which I thought they were getting rid of them when they got rid of the Nightmare Collective.
Yeah, so I mean,
but you have Death Triangle was one of the newest ones.
Yeah, I mean, maybe when the new show comes on, they'll just kind of really break things apart and try to do a SmackDown and Raw type branding to where there's not too much cross-pollination, so everything has its own thing.
I mean, they could, but I mean, they're still too young to have like two legitimate. Yes, they're going to turn AEW Dark into a legit TV show eventually, but I think that's still going to be like a mostly like maybe late night show for people to watch. I don't see it being prime time anytime in the next few years.
Yeah, but it's the place you can dump. You can have a couple A-list talents. So like if you want to, well, if you want to have. You could use that show and have one faction be like the ones, which unfortunately would be like what WCW did with NWO.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So somehow, like NWO is going to have their own show, which I still like. How was that ever going to happen? That made no sense to me anyway. But yeah, they have so many factions, but I think SCU is going to break up eventually. Death Triangle, if they're still going to be a thing, after all this COVID and no one's been seen on TV forever, they might, a lot of these say, you know what, they went around with 2 or 3 weeks. Let's just forget that ever happened and let's just start fresh. I mean, that's what happened with Nightmare Collective. I mean, they said that was a flaming bag of turd shit, and they just finally dumped that.
Cody needs to get his ass kicked and stay behind the scenes or take on that, really stay on that whole, runner of the thing. Yeah. Just let him be the face of the organization, focus on that, not so much on wrestling. The Young Bucks, I'm so tired of them.
I agree. When they have literally a money maker, it's going to make them a shit ton of money if they let Darby Allin be what he wants, be what he needs to be.
Yeah,
he is he He's what's going to get faces in. He has the look. He has the face paint. That's all marketable. When he comes out, everyone pops. He has a great entrance. He is their franchise. He is their Sting. There's no reason why they should not let him go over, win matches, and get more higher up. He should be in that fucking TNT tournament still. Makes no fucking sense.
No, it doesn't. But we're really going to see over the next probably 6 months how much of the I'm friends with Cody thing comes into play.
Well, I think we feel good that the Revival is going to be there at least by Double or Nothing. That's going to happen.
And then you got Zack Ryder, who's going to come in, and they're going to want to do something good with him.
Well, I do know that Revival was they Revolt was just recently on Jericho's podcast. Jericho's podcast, that means you're about to show up if you have not already showed up.
Yeah.
And I think for that, since they introduced Brody Lee and Matt Hardy without a crowd, they're like, we're not going to do that again. So they're waiting to get a crowd so you can hear a pop for them.
And then what are you going to do with Matt Hardy? Because I mean, I know a lot of his stuff has been hurt because the COVID thing, and he's been doing his thing every day, which has been pretty cool. I don't know if you guys watched that, his little positive affirmations and all that. But I mean, it just seems like the steam from that has all been kind of like let out.
It was a popcorn fart. It was a popcorn fart. But basically, everybody had delusions of TNA grandeur, which I don't know why anybody would ever think TNA and think good things. But people saw Matt Hardy TNA, and they were thinking all the great stuff and forgot really how over the top not great it actually was. It was just on TNA, you have a pile of shit. This pile of shit smelled better than this one, so they actually enjoyed that.
Well, TNA just had so much like
bad
stuff that made no sense going on that the broken Matt Hardy stuff was interesting.
Yes, which usually you wouldn't like it, but it was different than whatever the hell they were putting on at the time. Now, everyone excited they saw Matt Hardy, no crowd, no pop. Okay, that sucked. Then he opened his mouth, and everyone's like, damn.
Yeah.
Not what we wanted.
It kind of reminded me of the Warrior promo when he went to WCW.
Oh God, he just kept 20 minutes.
I'm a huge fan of Matt Hardy and the Hardys in general, and it just made no sense. And then they tried to explain it away with it was a hologram that was moving around with that whole little and I see Abraham Lincoln over there.
It was awful.
I just kind of think that I don't think the original plan got executed, and it did not go over well at all because there was no crowd.
I think they said, you know what? I think they thought everybody was so ready for the broken Matt Hardy that said, you know what? Let him do it. You let him do what he wants to do and see how it goes. And I do think they have pulled back a little bit on that because they want to make Matt happy, give him something. But like tonight, he transformed 3 times during the match. He went from broken to regular Matt Hardy to what the hell is it? Damascus.
Yeah.
And I'm going, oh my God. Remember, they put him in a fucking ice cooler. He transformed to Damascus. He had more costume changes than freaking at a concert with Reba McEntire.
Well, they I mean that they did well. I think it was an Impact, was it, or a Global match, and Jeff Hardy did the same thing, where he was like regular Jeff Hardy, then he went to be Willow, and then he was Brother Nero.
I mean, it's pretty much. I mean, yeah, it all cycles back to Mick Foley at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
coming out as the
Cactus Jack, and yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
But when you have no crowd to really, it hurts them also when they don't have any crowd to know how the crowd reaction is. All they can use is Twitter.
Yeah.
Unless you want to go by Sean Spears' air horn.
And it's just it's boring.
But
my guess is that they're going to keep Matt Hardy around doing something, kind of doing his broken gimmick. And what, Jeff's got just under a year left in his contract.
Unless he messes up and gets released.
Positive thinking. He's got a year left in his contract, unless he jumps out with them letting people jump out. But I think they're going to try to push him a little bit, at least for one of the smaller titles.
I mean, I guess everybody wants to see the Hardys and the Young Bucks, I guess.
I mean, I think Jeff's going to come into AEW as Willow or Brother Nero, but he seems to have an affinity for the Willow character, so I could see him coming in as Willow.
Good God, my head's about to explode. I love Matt Hardy. They need to stick with just the regular Hardy Boys gimmick from now on. They don't need to do any of this
That's their
crazy time-traveling cult stuff.
Dude, that is their gimmick now.
I think that'll change once they get a live crowd that realize, oh, this is a popcorn fart in church.
No,
that's awful.
I would not be surprised to see Hardy versus The Fiend because there's some history there.
Well, they wanted to do Broken Matt Hardy and The Fiend. I guess they kind of did it. But Vince hated the idea of it. So they did that kind of compound video.
Yeah.
And that didn't go over so well. And so it's funny because the night before the Damascus speech happened, a comment came out like, Vince had really lost touch because he didn't understand what I was trying to do with Broken Matt Hardy. Then it came out like, well, maybe Vince was actually right about this because this is awful.
I don't know.
You have Jericho talking to a drone. Like that was sad.
That is the Disney version of wrestling.
I wanted to just laugh and enjoy it, but I could not do it.
I like Matt Hardy. I don't mind the broken Matt Hardy thing. The Jericho talk, having like a serious conversation with the drone, that's the whole. AEW seems to have its I'm trying to be serious wrestling and they're comedy wrestling. And that's a mixture of the two that I'm just not a fan of. Him like, here, take my t-shirt. He'll be the sexiest of all the drones. You'll get all the drone pussy. What the fuck are you talking about?
No. Funny wrestling is with MJF and Britt Baker. That's funny. When you have Britt Baker in the crowd hitting you with her shoe. That's comedy I can enjoy.
That's again one of Steve Ackerman's sex fantasies. Britt Baker hitting him with the shoe.
I can't. Nah, I'll take Liv Morgan.
Well, next week we're getting a 4-way women's match with whoever wins that, I guess, challenges for the title, and in that match is going to be Britt Baker. I have a feeling we might finally start seeing that Britt Baker push that was originally supposed to happen, but she couldn't get over with the crowd until now as a heel. So that might actually start happening soon.
So what you got, Ackerman, for AEW? You've been quiet, man. This whole episode, you've been very cerebral.
I'm tired.
The
The Moxley match was actually pretty good. I'm not a fan of that QT Marshall, so I was glad he got his ass beat. The women's match, I mean, they tell you the girl she's fighting is 18 years old, so you kind of felt bad she got her ass kicked. Like I said, I'm not a Cody fan, so that the Cody match was kind of eh.
At least the women's match went short, like all the other matches.
Yeah. But the Moxley match was actually pretty good. That street fight was kind of good, except, he changed characters in the ice chest. That was kind of like, man, let me tell you something. Jericho took a bump from that golf cart, but it was nothing compared to the one the Spanish got. Man, he hit his head on that rail. He spun around. That was good.
They went full speed on that golf cart.
Yeah. I mean, Sammy took a shot with that. It spun him around. I'm like, whoa. But no, it was actually good. They fought over by the stadium and stuff, and of course, the rest of the inner circle got involved. It was cool.
I mean, no matter how some of the stuff was or bad comedy, at least it's entertaining, which is more than we're getting from anybody else right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. The entertainment aspect of it is they're trying.
Yes, exactly. And
just...
it also helps WWE copied the background of AEW during this whole COVID thing when they stopped putting seats in the background, empty seats. So you would think, okay, well, they copied AEW on that, but they still didn't copy putting wrestlers or talent in the seats, which I'm surprised about.
No, they just put a bunch of random fucking ladders.
Because that makes a world of difference having Billy Gunn and the Sun out there and Sean Spears betting money and blowing his damn air horn.
Yeah, I mean, just a little bit of heck. I mean, WWE is when the wrestlers are talking shit to an empty stadium, it's kind of like, why? But at least if you have a few people out there, there's a little bit of audience interaction to where you're like, okay.
It's like what the Street Profits did the other night. I'm like, all right, there ain't nobody there.
Yeah. Or when the wrestler wins and they get up on the ropes and do their little signature. Why?
Yeah,
there's no one there to fucking watch you.
I mean, who are you posing to?
Or when you're walking out.
Hey, anyone feel that the Brody Lee Moxie match felt too pushed? Like, when did Brody Lee have a problem with Moxley at one point?
Well, they got to do a build-up for the pay-per-view.
Oh, yeah, that's in 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Well, they probably had a problem when they the Bludgeon Brothers or something. They were fighting the Hounds of Justice, but that was like, I mean, that's the only thing I could think of. Old WWE.
I felt Moxley would have fought somebody in the inner circle, or I don't know, somebody, but I felt just the Dark Order all of a sudden on a main event stage felt kind of forced, but then again, I'm going, well, they don't have much to work with right now, but still.
It's like Bray Wyatt feuding with what's-his-face over in WWE. It makes no sense. He's talking about how, you turned your back on me and all this crap. That's not how it happened. There was a brand split. There was nothing he could do about it. But they're positioning it where it's, just somebody else for, the Fiend to go against who hurt his feelings, and they're going to throw a title back on him. And that's not a character that needs to have a fucking title.
I know this COVID thing's got everything messed up with who can do what, where, and when, but sure to goodness, when the crowds come back, they're going to settle down and get more people in, new faces, and organic storylines instead of forcing title matches.
I don't know. I think it's going to be hard to get organic storylines, at least for WWE, until they figure out their whole money situation.
That's true. But AEW, I just felt you could have built this up a tad bit better than just bringing Brody Lee out there and challenging for the title. Like it felt so WWE, but doing that.
Well, the next pay-per-view, I think, is instead of being like a quality pay-per-view, is just going to be a bunch of matches to set up for the next pay-per-view.
I'm curious what they're charging for Double or Nothing right now, because I find it hard to be a $50 pay-per-view when you know there's probably hardly any crowd at all in there. Also, so another thing, they didn't. Okay, I got my ticket for Double or Nothing. I can refund it, whatever. Well, if they're going to let 25% back in, are they going to sell tickets for this Double or Nothing?
If they refunded everybody.
Well, we had a choice of refund or just keep it for next year. I kept mine for next year, but there's no option if you want to go to this Double or Nothing.
Maybe they'll have a reduced ticket cost to buy more tickets.
Maybe.
Or they'll give existing ticket holders an option.
Maybe it's weird. Like how are they going to do that? Because I don't know. It's weird. I can't remember where they're going to have it next. It's supposed to be in Vegas. I guess they're moving it. I don't know if they're moving it to dailies or what.
Well, is Vegas even? I don't even think they've started opening stuff back up yet, have they?
I don't know. I don't know. You'd have to ask Bill about that. I guess they might have it at dailies and just have wrestler friends and family there. I don't know.
I am of the mindset that these big kind of events, everything should be pushed till next year, because we don't really know what wave 2, if there is going to be a wave 2 of this, is going to look like. Everybody's going out, and you know, here in Oklahoma, they had like phase 1 where people could go out, and everybody just decided to go out in mass numbers. You know, you go to Target or Walmart, it's like the place is fucking packed. So,
I haven't been in an actual place in forever.
yeah, so I'm one of those guys that thinks we should try to marginalize that kind of interaction for a while to see how things pan out, and if there is going to be a second wave and that kind of stuff.
But at the same time, but if you make a living off crowds, like I want to know what it's going to do to the indie wrestling industry, when their only source of income is independent wrestling matches. What do you do then?
Well, there's a lot of jobs that would fall within that category. I mean, you can look at multiple sports events, concerts, stand-up comedy. I mean, anything where you have people congregate together. I mean, even if you just look at the cinema industry, you know, that's going to be interesting to see how that works out. You know, cinemas are only going to be able to run at what, 50 to 25%.
Yeah, I think Ryan Turek on his podcast said that the theaters are already going to do like 6 feet apart at every seat. So
if you have that model happen, are the studios now going to take a less of a percentage of ticket sales? Or are they going to want a higher percentage of ticket sales to, you know, I mean, we don't know what that model is going to look like.
I think what the theaters would have to, I guess, extend their times of showing movies like 24/7.
Well, then that's the higher operating costs, which would negate the money that they're making. You know what I mean?
Well, it said.
I mean, who's going to go see, you know, Lion King 4 at 2:00 in the morning?
That's why drive-ins right now are doing pretty well right now. First time in decades.
The drive-in near me stopped. This is their. I don't know what their logic was, but they said that they are no longer doing double features due to Corona, and the price went up to see one movie. So it used to be like $6 to see 2 movies. Now it's $7 to see 1 movie.
The price here is $20 a carload right now for 2 movies, but you cannot get out of the car to go to the bathroom, which I'm like,
well, when I say 7, it's per person in the car.
Right. That's what I figured. But it here's $20, but they are selling out every night right now.
Yeah. See, over here it's not.
What are you supposed to do? Piss in a bucket?
I don't think I'm like so you bring a Gatorade bottle and just piss the Gatorade bottle, and if you have a room full of people, you just pass the bottle around and everyone to piss in. I don't know how you would do that.
Some guy thinks it's Gatorade by accident and takes a swig. Yeah. He's like, oh fuck.
This is sitting lemon lime.
Okay. So Friday night Smackdown. What are we grading that? Since none of us really watched it. On a scale of 1 to 5, or on a scale of 1 to 5.
5 being what?
We'll say 1 to 5 little wrestling scullies.
What's the best? 5 or 1?
5.
2.
2 little scullies. What about you, Steve? You agree with that?
I was going to say 2. I mean, at least they're doing something. 2.
Okay. Raw. How many little scullies y'all giving it?
Well, considering no one knows about Raw at all we remember is Otis from SmackDown to give it 1.5.
Yeah, I'll give it 2.
2? Okay. AEW.
I'll give AEW 3.5.
3.5?
I'll go 4.
4? You just want to be a little bit above the power curve there, don't you, Steve?
No, I had my numbers in my head. And I was like, AEW topped everything WWE did this last week.
AEW is going to win automatically just because of their crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it had a little more of a feel to it.
It makes it interesting. It doesn't make it look dead.
since we didn't have a lot to talk about with the other promotions, I thought we'd try something new. We'll see if this works. We're going to go ahead. I'm going to screen share I did a Google search for bad indie wrestling matches.
Okay.
I'm going to screen share a match. If this works good, I'll turn off the volume so you guys can't hear the match. We'll play the match. It's about 3 minutes and 10 seconds, and we'll let you guys go ahead and do the commentary on it.
All right.
So, Steve, who is going to be your wrestling announcer inspiration?
Ken Resnick.
What about you, Piper?
I will go Gorilla Monsoon. No, Bobby Heenan. Bobby Heenan. Go Bobby Heenan.
This ought to be a trip.
Well, we're going to see if this is going to work. Okay, you guys see the match?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to turn the sound off. I know nothing about this match. I watched about 30 seconds of it. It looked fucking horrible. And go.
Is that Rick Knox, the referee?
Oh, you can tell they don't look like they want to be there, either of them.
Oh, boy. Well, that was an ass in the face.
Yeah.
She's got boots like Ultimate Warrior.
She's got on there, though, that blue outfit. That's something different.
You guys got to give me the moves. Man, she was being choked in the corner.
Kind of like, she's got her in the corner.
Straight on the ropes. Oh.
It's a knee to the back. I don't know. Oh, she's hurt.
What are you talking
about?
God. That's the Heimlich maneuver, guys.
She's hurt. Oh, fuck me.
She's choking. She's choking.
She's working that back.
Trying to cough it up. Come on, give her one more time to cough the meat up. Oh, there we go. The meat just spit up. See, she's saved her life.
I'm going to call the girl in the blue Mustang. The blue Mustang's taking on the silver rocket.
We got whipped into the ropes.
Oh, the silver rocket.
What was it, a
clothesline? Took the blue Mustang down.
Double fist to the stomach. I hope she wasn't pregnant. That was the world's slowest clothesline. And she kicks out. Man. This is exciting.
Yeah.
I want to pause real quick. These two guys right here, they are having a very good conversation.
Party about what they'll be eating at Applebee's later that night.
Something's going to happen right now. She's grabbed the hair. Oh, that's what's that move?
Hair pull.
I think that's the menstrual
face
bench.
to the mat. We got.
She's working that clavicle.
Rich.
Man.
This is about
the pain. I mean, I don't know. Look at the face. Oh, fuck me.
Sorry, Shane. That I think that'll never happen with her. I think she's.
Here it is. Whoa! Oh, it was reversed.
Small package roll up.
Only a count of two. Come on, Ackerman, give it to me. I know you're holding it in. Call the match.
Skipping. Let's see. What is she doing? Oh, ramming her into the corner.
Oh wait, here
I'll
she
tell
comes.
you.
Here comes the move.
Sunset flip into. Oh, they fucked that sunset flip up. Oh, Jesus.
Fell down. Now she's helping her back up. How very courteous. Okay, guys, let's try this again.
I whipped her into the ropes.
It's going so slow. Sunset flip. That took him a second sunset flip, the most basic move.
Oh, that was only a two. Come on. The blue Mustang. She's got the silver bullet on the ropes. I just saw what the fuck?
Head scissors. Trying to choke her out.
1, 2. Oh, only a count of two.
Remind me next time you pick a match to pick something that's actually funny.
Or don't skip.
Well, that is it. Oh, here we go. I forgot to hit stop so we can just watch this, and this just looks like it's gonna. What the fuck?
like a double arm.
Yeah.
Is this the kid that lands on his head? I've seen this.
Oh, fuck
Oh,
me.
God. His
Yeah,
neck's
I've
broken.
seen that
He's
before.
dead. He's dead.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, and he kicks out of the first pin, and then he gets. Yeah, I saw that. There's like a bunch of those videos on YouTube where you're surprised these people didn't die.
Oh,
His
my
neck must be made of
God.
wet spaghetti.
Yeah, he landed on his head, and he kicked out the first time.
I haven't seen a move botched that bad.
Botchamania, that's what it's called. They have a bunch of like.
God.
God. Yeah, we'll stop there.
Ugh.
Oh, that was horrible. Well,
No.
to our listeners, that probably was not the best one. To our viewers, I'm sorry. Do you guys like the concept of that? Maybe move.
I like it. We just need to find something that's actually more over the top, funny, or awful.
Yes, that was an idea I had, and probably would be better is to let you guys see it.
That
so
was
you can
just a mediocre
prepare.
match.
you can prepare your comments. So that'll be something moving forward with the three faces of wrestling. Is we'll just pick some random matches, ideally just things you never see. You know, nothing from any of the big promotions, just random indie bar shit, and let these two fucks do their own commentary with it. But I think we're good to go. You guys got anything else you want to add?
I think we're good to go. I look forward to next week to see finally live crowds at wrestling.
Yep, we will, and we'll actually watch all three of the main shows. How's that?
Sounds good, or at least highlights of the main show.
Maybe we can get fucking Steve here to actually contribute.
Yeah, I'm tired tonight. I ain't gonna lie to you guys.
I mean, the most you contributed was we watched you drink your coffee that said S for Steve.
I don't know if you, in that case, next time have a few beers and then get on camera. That
Yeah,
might
or
help.
something. You can pop a couple pain pills and drink some champagne or some bubbly.
If you like me, get a couple of Steve Weissers in you.
Well, that about wraps it up, guys. I'm Shane. Piperman.
I'm Pipeman.
Ackerman. Okay.
It's me.
We'll see you next time. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. And I'm out.